And welcome back, everybody. There's a moment that happens for all of us. For the first time in a long time, there's space. Space between you and the uniform. Between who you were and whoever comes next. And in that space, memories rush in. Some good, some rough. You think about the calls, the ones that went right, and the ones that still keep you up at night. You think about the people you helped, the ones you couldn't, and the ones you wish you could forget. It's strange how much we carry without realizing it. How these jobs shape us, chisel us down, and then leave us wondering what's left when the mission ends. For years, we pushed forward. We don't stop. We keep our heads down and we handle it. But many of us weren't taught what to do when forward changes direction. You need to realize transition isn't just a new job. It's a new version of you. And that's where it gets tough. Because the version of you that you've built through all your years of service doesn't just disappear overnight. The habits stay. The stories stay. The scars, even the invisible ones, they stick around. But what we don't talk about enough is those stories aren't finished. The chapter might be closed, but the book isn't done. And most important, you're still holding the pen. When these careers end, you start hearing your own narrative again. And that's both a challenge and an opportunity to decide what kind of story you want to tell next. Society will tell one version. Your peers and coworkers, they'll tell another. But the one that truly matters is the version that you choose to believe and the one that you live by every day. Yeah, rewriting that story takes work. It means facing the parts that hurt, owning the choices that shaped you, and learning to see strength where you might only see the scars. Now that's not denial. That's growth. That's resilience in its purest form. Not pushing pain away, but turning it into something useful. The quiet, internal kind that builds your next chapter. The kind that gives you authorship over who you are and what comes next. It's not about pretending the hard parts didn't happen. It's about learning to see them differently. So with that, let's get into round 93 of the Tactical Transition Tips. This time the topic is rewrite your story. For the close range group, those of you looking at your transition right away, or you're less than a year out, do a gratitude inventory. Because gratitude sharpens focus and reminds you how much good you've already built. For the medium range group, those of you looking at your transition in 5 years or so, write your success story. Because clarity comes when you start defining your wins and focusing less on the losses. And for the long range group, those of you just starting your careers, you've got at least a decade before your transition. Convert struggle into service. Because the lessons you're living today will become the wisdom somebody else needs tomorrow. Close range group. You're not thinking about transition. You're likely living it. That feeling is creeping in. The who you are is becoming something you used to do. That can be a tough pill to swallow. Your career has been operations and results. And now there's this strange stillness that's showing up. But it's not peace, at least not yet. At first, it feels like something's missing. You're used to an objective defining your purpose. And now you're learning what it feels like when purpose has a sense or doesn't have a sense of urgency. And that's why this stage hits so hard. Because you're not just changing careers, you're changing identity. In this initial transition phase, what you do with your mindset determines everything that comes next. That's why you need to do a gratitude inventory today. Now I know you're thinking, gratitude? You've seen too much of the bad stuff to have gratitude. You've dealt with situations no one outside our world could ever understand. And that's exactly why this exercise actually matters. Think about it this way. The brain remembers pain faster than peace. It's a survival instinct. Replay what went wrong so it doesn't happen again. But after years of that wiring, it becomes your brain's default mode. And that's what leaves so many of us stuck, replaying the worst moments long after we've moved on. Doing a gratitude inventory breaks that loop. It gives you the power to reprogram how your mind measures the day. So every morning, take 5 minutes. Grab a pen and a notebook. List down 3 things that went right, either from your career, from your life in general, but don't overlook the things from literally the day before. Doesn't matter how small or even how weird. Think back, that smell you got in your nose after a long day at the range. That operation that ended well, but started like shit. That look in your kids' eyes when they see you in uniform. Hell, the fact that you didn't quit when the world felt heavier than usual. This might sound like silly busy work, but I'm telling you, this will be beneficial. This is conditioning for your mindset. Every time you write down something, you're training your brain to see what's still good, not just what's gone bad. Yes, the first few days might feel awkward. You might stare at a paper and think, nothing went right yesterday. Then start with that. Write down that you at least showed up anyway. That's a win. Most people aren't even going to understand that. Bottom line though, push yourself to write the good things from your career and each day that you're alive. You know they're there. And over time, the pages are going to become something more than words. They'll become proof. Proof that your story's bigger than the negative moments. You'll start to see patterns of strength. Days when you were strong for somebody else. Moments when you performed under pressure and didn't even realize it. And here's the shift that happens. Slowly, but it definitely will. You'll start walking into each day already looking for what's good. Now, that doesn't mean you ignore the hard parts. It just means refusing to give them the final say. You need to think of this as training. It's like recalibrating your system that's been on high alert for years. Just like maintenance for your gear, this is maintenance for your mind. You can't steer what you don't see. And when you start seeing the good, you start steering yourself back towards it. Now, I know for a lot of you, reflection doesn't come naturally. We power through things. We don't pause, not in a threshold, not when action's required, not when someone needs our help. But when you take those 5 minutes every morning, you're not living in the past. You're building the muscle for perspective, and perspective changes everything. It takes those negative tick marks, the regrets, the failures, those things that keep you up at night, and puts them back in their place. They're not your whole story. They're just part of it. So tomorrow morning, before you jump into your day, write 3 things down. If you can't resist grabbing your phone right away, then start a notes page. And if you don't know where to start with something as simple as, I'm still here, because that counts. That's gratitude. That's where the rewiring really happens. Over weeks, maybe months, something will shift. The heaviness will lighten up a little. You'll start realizing your new mission. Maybe it's now your family. Maybe it's your health. Maybe you're going to give a new business a try or a new career in general. Or it's just simply your peace. That gratitude inventory becomes a map, a record of where you've been and where you're going. It's your proof that no matter what's happened, there's still more positive on your page than negative. And that's the truth you build on. Because this stage isn't about closing a chapter. It's about learning how to write the next one with positive ink. You've already proven you can survive the hardest days. Now prove to yourself that you can live the better ones. Gratitude doesn't erase the past. It just reframes it. And when you see your story through that lens, you'll realize something powerful. This career didn't break you. It refined you. This October 28th and 29th, the Military Officers Association of America is bringing together 3,000 voices, military leaders, warfighters, veterans, and families at National Harbor in Maryland for their inaugural conference, Total Force Plus. This isn't just another military conference. It's a mission to advance solutions for our military and veteran community, including leadership development, quality of life, military transition, and maximizing the veterans' experience. It's all on the table. This is where the next generation of military solutions will be tackled, at the first and only military conference where people outrank everything. And because the mission is so important, MOA is making attendance free for those who are currently serving, the spouses of those currently serving, and all federal employees within the DoD and VA. Secure your seat now, as tickets are limited and offered on a first-come, first-served basis. Visit TotalForcePlus.org to see if you qualify for your free ticket and to register for the conference. Medium Range Group. You're not quite done yet, but you're getting close. That checkered flag is about to wave. The day you hang it up isn't tomorrow, but it's coming. And the best part? You've still got time to shape how it's going to look when you do. This stage is where the smartest preparation happens, because you still have structure. You still have a mission. That means that you've got stability. And stability gives you room to plan with intention. For you, this is time to write your success story. Every operation, every deployment, every call, every shift, they've all been chapters, but you've never stopped to look at the whole book. Now's your time to step back and read it cover to cover. When you do, you're gonna see the moments that defined you. Times when you got knocked down, but you came back sharper, stronger, and more focused. Times when things went right because you were there and made it happen. Those aren't just memories. Those are assets. This is where you turn all that raw experience into language that tells who you are beyond the uniform. Writing your success story allows you to translate the intangibles, the perseverance, the leadership, the composure, into something not only civilians will understand, but that will also sell you and your abilities for your next career. When you can say it clearly, you can see it clearly. So set aside 10 minutes at the end of each week. Write down one moment that defined you. Doesn't have to be pretty. Doesn't have to be something that you did perfect. In all honesty, the best moments are often the ones that got messed up. But regardless of what it was, what did you learn? What did it change in you? When you strip it down, the story you're writing isn't just about accomplishments. It's about evolution. It's about who you became because of what you endured. Now, you might think, I'll just wait until I'm close to transition to figure this stuff out. That's the wrong way to go about this. If you start writing now, you get to shape tomorrow while you're still in motion. You can start aligning yourself with that person that you're going to be outside of the uniform. Many of us wait too long to figure out how to talk about what we've done in a positive or a beneficial way. Yes, we can bullshit all day long about the war stories. But what about telling the personal side of those stories? What about the stories of what you learned? Because when we really need to tell the story, we freeze. Because we haven't practiced how to tell the decision-making portion of the story, the leadership portion of the story, the personal failures of the story. We haven't practiced telling the story, pardon my French, without all the motherfuckers, without the, we smoked those assholes, or, man, that shit was crazy. So that when you're sitting across the table from some civilian, they don't freak out and think you're nuts. But when you've written your success story, you've already done the translation, you've already put the story into relatable terms, then you can easily sell it. Try this. Write one paragraph that sums you up. Not your rank, not your title, just you. When you can say your experience as you, with confidence, with simplicity, with honesty, those on the civilian side see what you bring to the table. You stop being a mystery and you start being a leader with value. Here's the benefit to you right now. Once you start seeing your career as a story of growth, every day becomes a sentence that adds to it. You start carrying yourself with a different kind of purpose because you realize your actions today are shaping how the story ends. And don't overlook the emotional parts of this. The more you write, the more you realize your best days aren't behind you. You've built a life of service. The skills that made you great in uniform can make you great after it too. That ability to stay calm under pressure, to lead when everybody else is panicking, to keep moving when things fall apart. That doesn't vanish, it transfers. Writing this story helps you see those connections. It becomes an anchor, something you can come back to on the tough days. And over time, what you write becomes a blueprint. You'll refine it, you'll expand it, but it'll all serve as a reminder of what drives you. The through line between your service and your purpose. So stop letting the world write your story for you. Start today. Because one day you'll realize that you didn't wait for the next chapter to begin. You started writing it while the ink was still drying on the last one. That's the power of your success story. It's not about how the world sees you. It's about how you remind yourself who you are and how much more there is still to write. What is the grind? It's not just a routine, but the decision we make to wake up, give everything we've got, then find a way to go further. Grind, spelt GRND, is more than a brand. It's a movement, an emotion we all feel connected to as we work daily to pursue our goals and support each other. Founded by a former Army Ranger, Grind Activewear has a clear mission to give 100% and then some more in sport, fitness, and in life. Functional, high-quality performance wear that's rooted in American culture because you demand gear that outworks the rest. Whether you're on the field, in the gym, or building your own lane, Grind is for those who refuse to settle. Go check out the Grind Collective. That's the grndcollective.com and tap into something bigger than clothing. And while you're there, use the promo code TRANSITION15 to get 15% off your purchase. Long Range Group. You've got time. Transition, hell, it might as well be another planet. But here's what most people miss at this stage. The habits that shape your transition don't start when you're close to the end. They start right now. You're writing your story every day, even if you don't realize it. And the question is, are you writing it intentionally or are you letting the job write it for you? Whether you agree or not, your career will shape you. But if you're not careful, it'll also narrow you. And when you finally step away, the narrow version of you is going to have to learn how to expand again. That's why this stage is about learning to convert struggle into service. You're going to see things that will weigh on you. You'll experience loss, frustration, maybe even moments of disillusionment. That's part of these careers. But what you do with those experiences, that's what defines your long game. So start there. Write everything that you face, the good calls, the bad operations, and ask one simple question. What can this teach somebody else? Because when you turn your experience into guidance, pain into purpose, you shift from serving the job to mastering it. Converting struggle into service is often quiet. It's in the advice you give to the new guy who misjudged the weight of the uniform. It's in how you listen to somebody without judgment. It's in how you model resilience after that rough call or an operation. That's how legacy is built. Not in some big grand gestures, but in the daily repetition of doing the right thing, even when nobody's watching. Legacy isn't what happens after you retire. It's what people remember about you while you were here. Start documenting what's shaping you now. You don't have to journal every day, but start recording the lessons. When something hits you, that moment of frustration or something that's a beneficial insight, make note of it. Just a sentence. Here's what I learned. And over time, those become markers of growth. When you look back on them a year from now, 2 years from now, you'll see how much you've learned, not just about the job, but about yourself. And here's where that turns into power. When you can articulate your lessons, you can teach them. That's the shift from being a good operator to being a good mentor. When you teach from experience, you make meaning out of the pain. You give substance to the struggle. Because now, the things that caused you heartaches and headaches, they can actually build others. This mindset also prepares you for what's next. When you've already built a habit of reflecting, you don't have to reinvent yourself when you leave this job. You'll already know how to find purpose beyond the uniform. So remember, this career will test your patience, your compassion, and your belief in people. But if you learn to see the struggles as training reps for who you'll be next, nothing is wasted. So don't just endure it. Document it. Use it. Turn it into service. Because when you finally step away, you'll carry more than memories. You'll carry wisdom. And that's what people will come to you for. That's what will make your second chapter matter. The uniform will come off, but the mission never leaves you. You'll just be serving in a different way. Still mentoring, still guiding, still building. And if you start practicing that now, your transition won't be an identity crisis. It'll be a continuation of purpose. So use this time. Build the habit of reflection. Teach the next generation what you wish someone had told you when you first started on the job. Turn those hardest lessons into something useful, because that's how you make peace. Peace with the past and make it power for the future. You stop letting the struggles define you, and you start using them to define your impact. All right, let's close this out. It's funny how quiet life can get once the chaos fades. You don't notice it all at once. It sneaks up on you. The calm after the years of constant motion. At first, it feels like something's missing. But that quiet, it's not emptiness. It's space. Space to rebuild. Space to rethink. Space to breathe. Many of us spend our careers focused on the next call, the next mission, the next. But few stop to ask, what happens when the ride's over? Every one of us reaches that moment. And the question isn't, what's next on the schedule? It should be, what's next for me? The moment where preparation meets reflection, The moment where experience turns into wisdom. The moment when transition stops being a rumor and becomes real. It's not going to happen overnight, but it will happen. And when it does, you're going to be ready. So when that day finally comes and you look at that blank page ahead, don't hesitate. Don't second guess what you've lived through. Don't second guess what you've built. Because the next mission isn't about surviving the story you were given. It's about taking command of the one you're still waiting for. It's time to rewrite your story. If you've stayed until this point, thank you. Staying until the end definitely helps. It helps the engagement ratings. It helps other people find the podcast. I would really appreciate any comments that you have. Let me know what you like, what you don't like. Let me know what I'm messing up. Let me know what's missing for you. Reach out to me on social media. Send me an email. The links are all in the show notes. Another ask? Please share the podcast with anyone you think could benefit and enjoy it. And last, don't forget to sign up for the newsletter.